When you are factoring by grouping, generally you will have 4 terms, sometimes 6, and this is going to be your end result, what you're looking for. You're going to be left with 2 parentheses. One is going to be a match, and really that match is going to be the common factor that both of them are going to have. And then the second parentheses will be the leftovers. That's the goal or the end result. So let's take a look at this first example. You want to group your terms together. Group the first 2 together and the last 2 together. And what you're going to do as you group these is you're going to look for the greatest common factor of each group. So at first, it's going to seem like 2 separate greatest common factor problems. So in this first group, I'm looking at this and I see that they both have x squareds. So I'm going to take out an x squared. And when I do, I didn't touch the 3, so just bring that down. You had 3, you take out 2, that leaves you with 1. Plus x squared goes into x squared 1 time. Now, take a look at your second group. The greatest common factor of those is a 3, so I'm going to take out a 3. Well, 3 divides into 9 3 times. We didn't touch that x, bring it down, plus your plus sign, 3 goes into 3 1 time. All right, recall that we said we're looking for a match. That's a common factor. This group has a 3x plus 1. This group has a 3x plus 1. So take out your match, which is a 3x plus 1. And when you take that out, look what you're left over with, x squared plus 3. And that's factor by grouping. All right, let's take a look at the next one. All right, so we're going to group again, and over here you can see I have our goal, the match, and the leftovers. So let's group the first 2 and the last 2. If for some reason the first 2 and the last 2 don't give you the result that you want, this match leftovers combination, you could rewrite it and maybe do the first and the third or the second and the fourth. So again, we're going to take out the greatest common factor of each little part. In the first one, they both have a 2 and they both have an x squared. So 2 goes into 2 just 1 time, that's a cancel. X to the third, take out x to the second, that leaves you with x to the first. Plus 2 goes into 20 10 times, and the x squareds cancel. Plus, second group, the greatest common factor is a 5. 5 goes into 5 just evenly, just as a wash. The x we didn't touch. Plus 5 goes into 50 10 times. And once again, there's that match. So you write down your match, which is x plus 10, and then you have your leftovers. If you take the x plus 10s out, you're left with 2x squared plus 5. So 2x squared plus 5. Now, sometimes people will write down the 2x squared plus 5 first, and then write down the match. And that's fine because both of those are equivalent to each other. All right, example 3. Our goal is matching leftovers, so here we go. Let's group the first 2 and the last 2. In the first group, they both have a squareds as the greatest common factor. You have 3, you take out 2, that leaves me with an a to the 1, minus the a squareds cancel, and you just have a 4. Then here I'm going to take out a 3, and that means I'm going to have an a minus 3 into 12 4 times. And there's that match we're looking for. And so write down the match, which is a minus 4, and then your leftovers, a squared plus 3. Okay, example 4. In example 4, group your first 2 and your last 2. And in the first group, I see that the greatest common factor is an x squared. Have 3, take out 2, left with x to the first, minus, take the x squared out, you just have the 3. Now, in the second group, I can take out a 16. But here's where you want to be careful. You're going to want to watch those signs because the signs have to match. So I don't want to take out a 16, but instead I need to take out a negative 16 because I need a negative to divide by a negative to give me that positive x. And I need a positive 48 divided by a negative 16 to give me a negative 3 so that it matches letters, numbers, signs, everything. So that means my match is x minus 3. My leftovers are x squared minus 16. Now, I'm not sure if you remember this, and if not, I have a video on this, but that is a difference of 2 squares. It fits the pattern. See, your difference is your subtraction sign. That's a square because x times x. This is a square because 4 times 4 is 16. So therefore, we can keep going. This just bring down, can't touch that. Here, it's a difference of 2 squares. And again, what do I square to get that? X and x. What do I square to get 16? 4 and 4. And you need a plus and you need a minus. And that's how you factor difference of 2 squares. All right, example 5. Let's group the first 2 and the last 2. All right, take out the greatest common factor. So take out an a squared. You have 3, you take out 2. That leaves me with a to the understood first power if you need to write it. Plus, you take out the a squared, so you just have the 4. And again, we've got to match. I know 9 goes into those, but watch your signs because you have to make those parentheses match. So I'm going to have to take out a negative 9 because I need a negative, divide by a negative to give me a positive, and a negative divided by a negative to give me a positive 4, like that is right there. Not all the time, but most of the time and generally, whatever sign is there, pretty much that's what you're going to take out. At least try that first to see if that's what it is. All right, there's our match. So then we're going to write down our match, which is a plus 4. And that match is really just a common factor. See, both of those groups have an a plus 4. So you're saying, well, I'm taking that out of both. And I'm left over with a squared minus 9. And once again, this right here is a difference of 2 squares. So bring down your a plus 4. But here, in a difference of 2 squares, and it's recognizable because it's a difference, that means a minus sign. This has to be a perfect square, like something times something. And here, again, it's the same thing times the same thing. So that's an a times an a. And that's a 3 times a 3. And I need a plus and a minus because we need the positive times the negative to get us that negative 9. Okay, example 6. Group your first 2 and your last 2 and see if we get the match. If for some reason you don't get the match with that, you might have to rewrite it and maybe do the first one and the third one or the second and the fourth. Occasionally I've seen that be the case. All right, so here we can take out a 4 and an x squared. That's the greatest common factor of those first 2 terms. So the 4's cancel. X to the third, take out x to the second, and you have an x. Plus 4 goes into 8 2 times, and the x squareds kind of cancel. I'm going to take out a minus 9 because I want a negative divided by a negative to give me a positive x because it has to match a positive x. I want a negative divided by a negative to give me a positive 2, 18 divided by 9. I can see the match, so I'm going to write down my match, which is x plus 2, and then I have 4x squared minus 9 left over. If you have a hard time seeing that, you could cross out the match, and then you can see exactly what you have left over. Once again, that's a difference of 2 squares. It's not uncommon at all for factor by grouping problems to end up in this situation where you have a difference of 2 squares. Pretty common. So I'm going to bring down my x plus 2 because I can't do anything to that. Now my difference of 2 squares. Remember, in a difference of 2 squares, you ask yourself, what do I square to get this? Which is 2x and 2x. What do I square to get 9? Which is a 3 and a 3. And I need a plus and I need a minus. So let's make that the minus that it's supposed to be. All right, last one. Now this one right here, because I wanted you to see one where you have 6 terms. Remember that I told you that occasionally you could have 6 terms. So we're still going to do the same thing. So let's group the first 3 and the last 3. Take out your greatest common factor. All of these at least have x squared. So you have 4 and you take out 2. That leaves you with 2. Plus, bring your 2 down. You have 3. You take out 2. You're left with x to the first. Plus x squared goes into x squared one time. In the second group, I see that they all have a 3 in common, but I'm going to need to take out a negative 3 because I need all of those negatives to divide by a negative so that I can have positive, positive, positive for my match. If I take negative 3 into negative 3, it's obviously positive, and the x squared is what is left. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is positive 2, and then the x you're going to bring down because we didn't touch that. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1, and we do have our match. So write down your match, which is x squared plus 2x plus 1. And then that's with a common factor that we take out of both of them. And you're left over with x squared minus 3. Now, this is not a difference of 2 squares because 3 is not a perfect square. It does have the difference. He's a square, but that's not. So I can't do that. So just bring that down, x squared minus 3. And do you notice that this right here is a trinomial? Remember, multiply, add, multiply. If you have forgotten that, be sure to check out my video on factoring trinomials. But you're trying to multiply to get x squared, which is x and x. You're trying to multiply to get 1, but add to get 2. Well, 1 plus 1 adds to get 2. And that's your final answer. If you need more practice on factor by grouping, be sure to watch my practice worksheet video. There you can watch me work and explain more problems. You can even pause the video, try the problems on your own, and then restart the video to check your answer. See you next time.